Everybody, we gonna put on the show. Nigga, I ain't done yet, I gotta put on some more. Nigga, how you gonna breathe with a foot on your throat? Ask about Benz, got the hood on choke. I don't see shit funny, I'm good on you, joke. Heard it was up, my hood on go. Nigga, how you gonna breathe with a foot on your throat? Yeah, pop out for perk and I get out my body. I'm tryna sleep at the car with my gun, and little motherfucker fit in my pocket. We fired up the blunt and got kicked out the party. Put it out, that shit ain't exotic. The shit talking, that shit make me hotter. Turn me up, make me get out my body. Turn me up, make me get out my body. Go.
The primary purpose of the CAF podcast is to express platform for creatives to express their personal views or opinions without restriction or censorship. All views or opinions expressed during the CAF podcast are solely those of individuals expressing such views or opinions and does not reflect the views of the CAF podcast.
So I went to work.
Yeah.
I went to work Wednesday, and I went to work today. And when you said you could get on, I worked, sir. Sir, I worked.
I appreciate it.
I did my work today. I made sure I got my money. But when I got a break, I wrote down so much stuff because I know you getting on tonight. And look. This is, you can't see it, but this is one page. This is another page. Sir, hold on, sir. Okay. Sir, I had to flip it over from most space because we got a lot to talk about. And knowing
it's a lot
and when you say you into politics, first of all, you ring my bell. And I'm like, we're going to get to the nitty gritty because I got so much shit to talk about because I'm just bound. I just lost the words of how I went. So let me just go ahead and say this. Season 8 Cal Podcast, man, we back with a real special presidential aftermath episode. We got my man Sir back in here again. We ain't gonna get freaky and nasty tonight, ladies. I apologize. Not tonight. We finna get into some political stuff, and I got a lot of questions that we got to get answered. But first thing first, sir, we always ask, man, we got to check. Literally, we got to check this time. How is your mental health?
You know what, man? I left it all on the field. It's been a long cycle. I feel like, it wasn't the outcome that we hoped for. But I can look in the mirror at the end of the night and say that I did everything that I did. Colleagues did everything that they did. I feel like everybody left it all on the field. And, sometimes it just doesn't go your way.
Okay. Now, I'm glad you said all that. Now, let me get to me first and then the floor is yours. So, went to sleep, woke up Tuesday, went and voted, got home. I'm in my head, I'm like, it probably gonna be like the same thing from 2020. He's going to win up front. Like he's going to get his states, he's going to get the numbers, he's going to get to a good lead. But she should come on the back end with all the mail-in ballots and all the late numbers. Went to sleep. I did like 2020, man, I was up all night because I had to know. And then it was like, we not gonna know for another 2 days. So in my head, I'm like, all right, worst thing worse. We'll probably know something tonight who's officially the president. Sir, when I woke up and I saw that map, I'm like, y'all got to be fucking kidding me. I'm like, that map was too red. I'm like, the sting that she had, the momentum that she had, the people, all this, all that. I didn't really... you had your pundits on MSNBC, not CBS, CNN, and all these other people talking. I really didn't take too much of that in because last time I took that shit in, he won. Right. I'm just like, all right, I'm just listening, but I'm like, what's going on with that map? It was just too red. So, sir, that's my opening statement. Sir, what is your opening statement about the election?
It was shocking. I think I said last time I was here that I wouldn't necessarily be surprised if one way or the other, because I think, when you get a major party nomination, you basically, in this environment, in this country, you have a 50-50 shot. It's a literal coin flip. The surprising thing to me was the numbers. Actually, it's the margins. So if we look at it, Joe Biden got 81 million votes in 2020. Kamala Harris, give or take when everything is tallied, is hovering around 69 million votes. So 12 million people either, and I don't think there was that many Biden Trump voters. So roughly 12 million people, either I don't know what percentage of that decided to switch their votes or simply just decided to stay home. Conversely, Trump in 2020 got 74 million votes. He's at around 73 right now. So, his margins are about the same from 2020, but 12 million folks on the left, and there's going to have to be some real soul searching amongst the people that do this about what happened, how we can win some of these folks back and get folks to the polls.
Now, let me say this. I'm not a conspiracy theory. I'm not. When I woke up and I saw that map and I looked, I'm like, God, it is too red. And to think with all that momentum. And so like yesterday, in my head, I'm like, the map too red, and he won the popular vote. Now, this is just me, sir. I think when the dust clear, we're going to find out. This is just me going down that rabbit hole now. I think Trump has something to do with this. I'm not going to say, don't get me wrong, America's a racist country. We know this. We lived it. I seen it in my own eyes. I done lived in Jacksonville, Florida, Louisiana, and Maine, and it was crazy how racist it was in Maine. I know it's racist, but to tell me that the margin of gap that she lost by was that big, like she didn't get Wisconsin, she didn't get Minnesota, she didn't get Ohio. I'm still on the fence by that one. Like, I don't think really people really fuck with JD Vance that bad. But even I could have gave you Pennsylvania. I thought she had North Carolina and Georgia. So to me, I think this is not over with yet. I do think Trump got something to do with this, and I think we're gonna find out something happened where it stakes direct. Now, just me being a conspiracy theory. Now, I never thought like this before, but shit, MAGA thought like this when he won. I'm thinking like this now. Now, that's just me. Now I'm asking you, do you think it's really people voted that way, or is it something else?
Oh, 100%. From nothing that I heard indicated that there was any sort of cheating. I will grant you that there were some bomb threats, some fake bomb threats called in Georgia.
I'm thinking it's deeper than I'm thinking they got to. Listen, Trump don't have no bottom, but I think we're gonna find out another low bottom. Like, I'm thinking they went. After that debate, I think Trump got in his head, I cannot lose to a female and I cannot lose to a black female. And I think him and his think tank, they did something. What it is, I don't know.
The thing that they did, honestly, was they reached people. They met folks where they were, in an environment where people are feeling a lot of uncertainty about the economy. Trump gave people an enemy. It's the government doing it to you, whether or not that's true. And you couldn't turn on a sports game. They spent tens of millions of dollars on anti-trans commercials, at programming targeting men. They did a lot of work reaching out to male influencers, be they podcasters, and that stuff paid dividends. Gen Z been, I think Harris may have won that demographic, but Trump got a good portion of younger men, 18 to 29. And as I said last time I was on here, Democrats wouldn't need 100% of the black vote if they didn't get blown out with white vote. White voters are around 70 to 75% of the total electorate.
72.
Yeah. So we're talking almost three out of every four voters is a white person.
So let me give you the numbers. I don't know if you got them with you, but I worked today. Listen, sir, I did my job. I made sure I got my paycheck. But when I got a break, when I got some free time, I wrote all this stuff. All right, here we go. So when it comes to gender, 49% of men voted for Vice President Kamala Harris, 54% voted for Trump. When it came to women, 54% voted for Vice President Kamala Harris. 44% voted for Trump. When it came to white people, which was going back to 72%, 43% voted for Kamala Harris, 55% voted for Trump. When it came to black, which was crazy to me, that the black vote was only 11%.
I told you that was gonna happen. Last time,
But 11%, but 86% voted for Kamala Harris. 12% voted for Trump. I've been wanting to say this, and I'm gonna say this to all them 12% people that supported Trump. Let me just tell y'all right now, you motherfuckers was irrelevant. Like, he didn't even need y'all to vote for him. He didn't even need y'all to vote for him. He was gonna win anyway. So all you black people who voted for Trump, you motherfuckers are irrelevant. He is just pandering to y'all. Like, he really didn't need the black vote to win. Now,
I want to touch on that really quick.
Go. The floor is yours.
Because a lot of people you see online, they like to quote, Malcolm X and the things that he said about, Democrats or Republicans or whatever. If you go and look back at Malcolm X's Ballad of the Bullet speech, he explained exactly why the black vote was as powerful as it was at that period of time. And Malcolm essentially said that the black vote is only the deciding vote when the white vote is damn near 50-50, and that's not the case anymore.
Like, I'm gonna stay there before we move on. So I'm looking at that, and I'm like, when it came to men, more men voted. Well, it wasn't a big gap, 54-44, and then women it was really reversed. Like 54% of the men voted for Trump. 44%, she got 44%. 54% of the women voted for her. 44% of the men voted for him. Women voted for him. So I'm like, just off that category alone, why was the gap so damn big?
White voters, you gotta look at the race breakdown on that, and remember again that white voters make up more than 70% of that total.
Okay, and then when we bring it back down to the white and black, if she maybe if she got 90%, all she needed was 4 more percent, and I don't even know if that would have helped her win, because it's like she got a big number. The only big number when it came to that margin where one person got more than 70% was I wrote it down. I think it was white evangelical born again Christian, but they was only 3% of the vote, and that margin was 75% voted for Trump and 25% voted for her, but they only made up 3% of the vote.
Right.
So it's like
a lot of and I don't have the numbers in front of me right now. I believe it was when they broke it down. A lot of quote unquote, like a lot of working class folks broke for Trump. Minus working class black people, I think that needs to be said. We understood the assignment as we tend to,
and it's like we got that big a number. 86% of the black people voted for her. 12% voted for her. Voted for him. What is going? I'm gonna just off the black. Let me ask you, just off the black vote period, for a candidate just to count on black people to vote for them to win. Does it have to be in the 90s?
It could be 100%. If you are losing, if you are getting, and we're talking national elections, and even like some statewide elections, we do not have the numbers in most places. You have to run close with white voters and then make up the lion's share of that deficit with minority voters almost voting, like I said, damn near in unison.
So, sir, let me ask you this. The Democrat Party, who is their biggest opponent? The Republicans or the couch?
I think it's a tie between the couch and themselves, honestly.
Like, because if you look at the numbers from even when he with Hillary, They're all the same. They're in the same boat. Nothing dropped off. Only thing was he got more with when he went against Biden, but his numbers came right back down to the same with Hillary going against her. It's like
He maintained most of his Trump in 2020 was about 74. He's at about 73 million now. So he kept or made up most of that total. He was in the 63-ish range in 2016. Democrats are back down to 2016 ranges, roughly. Hillary Clinton got between somewhere, a little less than 66 million votes. Harris will be around 69 million when it's all said and done. But Trump kept most of his total together.
what I'm just looking at it from the hype, the train, the motion. Like what really before we even get to the Hispanics and all that other stuff, like I'm just like in my head, I'm like, what went wrong to where it was just that big a gap?
I don't know coming into the year in retrospect, because I think we're probably here if Joe Biden hangs on as well. I think there will be a lot of conversations about the blame game has already started, and there will be dozens and dozens of commentaries on podcasts and in the newspaper about that. I don't know, with things being the way that they were, if anything was going to prevent this particular outcome.
All right, season 8 Cap podcast, man. We here with a special presidential election aftermath with my man Sir. Got him back on talking nothing but politics. So, but before I move on to the economy and the Hispanics, another thing that I noticed too when it came to abortion and all that other stuff at a state level, I think a lot of states it got approved. But it just didn't broadcast on a federal level. So now listen to the people's like people said, all right, we women was like, no, we need this, but I'm still gonna vote for Trump. So what the was it the message, or it was like, yo, listen, I get it, we gonna get abortion, but let's keep white power. Or going back to when we talked the last time, white women's like, well, shit, the first female president, it ain't gonna be a black woman.
I think multiple things happen. I do think clearly that white women chose whiteness over womanhood again, because this happened in 2016. I think there are also just a lot of people who are really on the states' rights sort of train and don't think that a national abortion ban is possible, even though it is very possible without legislation.
Sorry, I probably disagree.
My bad, phone call.
All good.
Yeah, Booty was on the call, told him so. Okay, but anyways, like it is, like I wasn't expecting the gap to be that big, and then they start talking about the Hispanic vote, which that the Hispanic vote was only 12%, but 53% voted for her, 45% voted for him. So it's like you really didn't lose in the Hispanic. So when they were saying that bullshit on yesterday, it's like, well, the numbers say different. And then it was like, it's the economy. So it's like I'm so baffled. What the fuck happened Tuesday? Is just like, what the fuck can the Democrats do?
Better. I mean, I think, I can't remember if I said this last time or not, but they spend a lot of time trying to get people to vote against Donald Trump versus trying to get them to vote for some sort of positive agenda. And I think coming in particularly with Harris, again, without trying to do too much Monday morning quarterbacking, you had a president that was very unpopular, and you had VP Harris essentially saying, "I wouldn't have done anything differently."
I don't see what she could have done. Like, I mean, she raised the money.
Absolutely.
She had like I'm sir, my aunt was in the hospital. I wore the same exact shirt. I had white women saying Kamala Harris 2024.
Mm-hmm.
What the like I don't know. Like, I don't think if she would have got in January or she would have went through a primary, I think it would have been the same damn shit.
Possibly.
I I
It's a
go
lot of
ahead, go
people
ahead.
just aren't going to vote for a woman. Don't matter who it is. So there's that. I don't think that explains everything. Um, Another interesting statistic, though, there's something happening globally as well. This is not just an American thing. For the first time since World War II, in
Mhm.
every developed country, the party in power has essentially been shown the door by voters. So this is something that's happening around the globe. There are a lot more kind of far right authoritarians winning elections across the globe as well. And these like economic anxieties that seem to be impacting everybody other than black folks, because we tend to show up on the freedom side all the time.
Every time.
People, far right authoritarians are being swept into power by economic anxieties, across the globe.
So with that being said, if it is like you said, we pushing somebody out, bringing somebody new. Did we not learn from the last time this man was in office? Like, I I I I don't see where it was like some. I don't see. Let me, and I'm gonna take white people out of this, from the black voters. I don't see what you saw in him to think that he was gonna do better on a second go round. Like, I don't see where he was like, even when it came to the BS they talking about the economy. The economy wasn't doing that good. Like, I,
It's a
I
lot of vibes and a lot of smoke and mirrors. A lot of people feel like because he is this businessman, success be damned, that he would be better for the economy. I heard a lot of people, not a lot of people, but I heard some loud folks saying that they didn't feel like VP Harris would be respected on the world stage.
it's the most dumbest shit. The most dumbest
Who
shit.
Yeah, there are a lot of people who bought into like this kind of false bravado and masculinity thing that they said Trump was portraying as well. So it's a lot of vibes over there versus policy. The one thing that I can say is not only it's not going to be the incompetent show that it was the first time around when they weren't prepared. This is going to be a lot worse because they've given the madman a mandate,
Yeah.
essentially. And I would say that in the reverse, if VP Harris had won the White House and Democrats had won the Senate and the House of Representatives, I would say Democrats had a mandate as well. Trump has a mandate coming in on day one. They got the Senate, they got the House. They don't have to negotiate with anybody other than themselves. And you're going to see a lot of things happen very quickly at the end of January.
Hold on, before we go down that road, because I wrote down stuff for that too. Um, what was that? Hold on. Let me go here. Let me go here. Let me go here. Let me go. Let me go to my notes. Let me go to my notes.
Mhm.
Just going back to dealing with Trump. Do you think we were ever gonna find out not why she lost, but why did he win? Other than just vibe. Like, I don't get the vibe check. I'm gonna say this too. I just gotta go there. I got a close family member. They voted for Trump, him and
Mm.
his wife. And the reason why they voted for Trump, it was real simple. Gays, transgender,
Mhm.
um, and what else they said? Christianity. And I'm looking at it and I asked him a simple question. Do you really think that man knows the Lord? Like this man literally said in an interview, the lady asked him, have you asked God for forgiveness? And Trump's exact words was, why would I need to ask him for forgiveness? Even if I know people who don't go to church, they know one Bible verse, and that is particular: all men have sinned and came short of the glory of God. They might not tell you where it's at, but everybody knows that. And so it's like, how can you vote for somebody when your principles don't even line up with his?
Because he hates the same people they do.
So, like, literally, they chose. Man, come on, sir.
Transgender folks are 1% of the population.
And that 1% was big enough to people say, you know what? Well, we live in some crazy.
But this is how it starts, though. This is, I mean, essentially, if you go back and watch any sort of documentary on how Hitler and the Nazis came to power, it started out with the blame game and finding scapegoats for things. So whether it's trans people or whether it's immigrants, and I'm not saying that like 6 million people are gonna be like hauled off to the gas chamber here. But the parallels are definitely there. If you go back and you watch any documentary or you read the books, it was a lot of economic uncertainty at the time. Hitler gave the German citizens population to blame. Trump has given Americans a population to blame.
Yeah. Well, let's keep it moving then, because it's just let's just keep it moving. So let me go back to the numbers for you real quick, sir. So between 18 to 29 years old, 55% voted for her, 42% voted for him. 30 to 44 was 51 for her, 46% from him. 45 to 64, 45 for her, 53% for him. 65 and up was 50% for him, 50% for her. Those was the numbers. And I'm still going to say it, sir. If those numbers are that close, why was the gap so damn big?
I think you got to look at Gen Z usually shows up for Democrats in much higher numbers than that. That 18 to 29 and Gen X was also a little disappointing as well. But, you know,
16%. 16%
yeah,
of the vote. 16% of the vote.
Gen Z as well, that 18 to 29. And, you know, they talk a lot about what's going on with young men, like that podcast space and that YouTube space and that manosphere space, like all of that stuff. And that years and years of pounding away at that stuff pays off at the ballot box.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm like, I can't wait for the study to come out on this, because I'm so interested, because it's like even if you I'm gonna go back to it, the numbers there are not that big. It's only two gaps that was big: black votes and white evangelical born again Christians. But there was only 3%. The black vote was only, let me go back to my numbers, I'm correct, was only 12%. But other than that, I didn't see her losing key
Yeah, I
state.
mean, and if you go into the numbers, and a lot of it is not necessarily like, it's crazy that Trump is the first Republican to win the popular vote since '88. That is crazy.
That's why I'm sticking to my conspiracy theory. It's something about
But
that.
if you look at the numbers in like your battleground states, your Pennsylvania, your Wisconsin, yeah, I think Nevada and Arizona are still counting. It's not it's like this it's a game of inches in some of those places. If you look at like the vote totals there, it's not 100,000 in a lot of these states. We're talking about enough drop off. We're talking about enough drop off for enough people staying home.
So,
These are not huge margins.
I'm going back to it. Like the Democrats, they like show me my eye. How about you go in your house, walk in the family room or living room, and look at that couch? Because y'all shouldn't be worried about no more Republicans for probably for the next 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
Because his numbers was literally equal for the last 3 elections. You only had one boost one time.
Mm-hmm.
That was 2020. So how can they change it where they not fighting against literally the couch that they could find outside on the corner?
You got to give people something to vote for. Honestly, that's the thing. We can't do any more election cycles of Republicans are terrible. We're a little less terrible, so vote for us. Like they gotta come out with a real people forward agenda and really hammer home the positive things. And then when they get power, they actually have to do the stuff. Like that's
I've been said that, like, because when Trump take office, whatever power he got, he gonna do it. Like I heard one thing and I thought it was brilliant and they should do. Somebody said Joe Biden should drop out right now and make her the 47th president.
I saw that. That would be crazy.
I said, and when I heard, I'm like, shit, why not? We don't know what's gonna happen in January. Why not, Joe? You already out. Go ahead and leave with a bang. Make her the 47th president, and he would be the 48th.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much power she would have from now to then, but shit,
there's a lame duck session. There's a lot there's a whole lame duck session of Congress. There are probably some judges that can still be confirmed, some executive orders.
See, like shit like that. Just do that. That might. Okay, let me go back to this. You said they need to give something to vote for.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, they should just came out like, look, y'all want them 1,200 checks again? Like, we could give it to you every month. I think Yang was on to something when he said that. Mm-hmm. I think that should be big if you could get a check every month. Now, you're going to lose your tax return, but shit, some of y'all ain't getting but 3 and 4. Now you're going 12 months receiving $1,200. That's way bigger than your tax return.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so is that something that they can use going in, or do you think they're just like, nah, we ain't gonna do that again?
I mean, I think the universal basic income, which they have I want to say in Alaska, is always super popular in the places, and essentially, yeah, it's an incredibly popular thing, and people like money. I mean, if we're talking about strategies to reduce poverty, like people aren't poor because they don't know how to budget or any of this other stuff. People are poor because they don't have no money. So if we're serious about reducing poverty, yes, I'm like all in favor of a UBI sort of program, 100%.
What is something that if you was in the committee room with the Democrat committee,
mm-hmm.
if you had to tell them like, hey, listen, we talk about this, we're gonna talk about this one thing. What would be that one thing going forward towards 24, so 28?
I would talk. I think you could run like on straight economics if we're gonna talk if we're talking about broad-based policies, probably raising the minimum wage to a living wage. And I think that you really gotta get serious about cracking down on like price gouging and things like that. Because a lot of people talking about the cost of groceries and things like that.
All right, sir. He's elected. He's in the wing. He's waiting. Fucked up part of it is they're gonna inaugurate this bitch on Martin Luther King Day.
Crazy.
I don't understand that, but hey, I'm not there. What message should the people be prepared for if you had to give them a message for a round two of Donald Trump?
Stay in the fight. Honestly, I think it is, stay in the fight. This is not over by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not saying that people aren't going to get hurt. I'm not saying that it's not going to be some damage. I'm not telling you that everybody is going to see the other side of this, because they are not. And I think we got to be honest with people about that. Everybody's not going to see the other side, whether that's due to old age, natural causes, killed by the police, killed by border agents. But we can dig out of this. It's going to take some time. And I think, especially for older folks or folks that are about our age, I think that we got to be very realistic that a lot of the progress that we may have wanted to see in our lifetime probably not going to happen. So this is about what we want to leave behind for the kids at this point. That's how I'm looking at it.
What like, because we got to go through 4 years, because I am. Well,
It's gonna be 2 years of it's gonna be 2 years of no, no sort of check or balance on Trump. They midterm elections, the entire House, and a good portion of the Senate will be up for re-election. So if there is an overreach, then we have our thing.
Yeah, because I right now I'm looking at it. I'm in Florida. I don't even see nobody who could probably take DeSantis out right now. Like,
Yeah.
I really don't see nobody. I don't care who they get. They could get shit. They could get shit. I really don't. Everybody that they had outside of Andrew Gilliam, I thought he was the best one. But once again, Black people didn't come out to vote. So now let me throw this out, because I heard somebody say this. Matter of fact, I think it was Charlemagne on the Breakfast Club. He said, let's just say Trump throw out the only you could be president for 2 years, not 2 years, 2 terms.
Right.
If let's say he do some shit like that, do you think it'd be Barack Obama who could defeat him?
That'd be interesting, probably. You mean if they like change the Constitution to limit folks to 2 terms? Probably Obama.
Like, because I'll be honest with you, that's the matchup we probably. It's crazy we talking matchup in politics, but that's probably the matchup people want to see. Him versus Barack Obama.
That would be interesting for sure.
Because the way things looking, I don't think we're gonna have a woman president probably for another 20 terms.
It's gonna be a while. I think we'll get there in our lifetime. I think we'll get there in our lifetime. I don't know who.
Will it be on the Republican side? Because the Democrat side done failed twice.
Certainly possible that our first woman president will be a Republican. I think Gavin, that 2028 Democratic primary is gonna be very interesting though.
I'm just gonna be. I'm like, I hate to say it. If you're a female, I wouldn't even jump in the race.
Hey, Gretchen Whitmer is popular though. I will say that. I don't know. I think I wouldn't be surprised to see her throw her hat in the ring in 4 years.
I'm not even a sexist. Just the fact that shit. I'm gonna be honest with you. I would have a meeting with all the white women and say, hey, you heifers, do we really want to be president? Do we want to be the first? Because you didn't vote for Hillary, and you didn't vote for a black woman, and when she decided, when Biden nominated her, I really thought it was going to be just a surge of black women to where they can literally just take over. Like, even if she could have won, and it would have been just black women, but it wasn't enough of black women. Like, it was one of my best friends. They haven't voted for Trump.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you have 2 black daughters. Like, what type of messages are like the message that I think was sent was like white power.
Yeah. That sexual assault is okay, and racism is okay.
Yeah. All right, I got a couple more questions, sir, and then we're gonna get you out of here.
Okay.
All right. And if you got anything you want to throw out there, just let me know, because I'm gonna keep standing on what I mean. I think it's something. I think this shit is way deeper than what we know. I think it's some shit went down behind closed doors, behind closed doors, behind closed doors. Like, I just
Mhm.
didn't see her losing that damn big.
It wasn't, like I said, you got to go back to a lot of people just they stayed home. And I think a lot of people, if you look at, like I said, the margins from 2020 to now, that 12 million, I think if and I haven't dug into the numbers for like a Pennsylvania or Wisconsin or a Michigan or a Georgia, a lot of people have dropped out of the process. They are not feeling served by the government. I don't think that there was a huge, I don't think there was a huge swath of people who voted for Biden in 2020 and then voted for Trump in 2024. A lot of those folks stayed home. They felt like government hasn't, has failed them. I think there's a lot of truth to that. I also, I think I said last time too, this was a pretty good, the Biden administration was pretty good at being president and really bad at talking about the stuff that they did.
True, true. Um, since we got Generation Z,
Mm-hmm.
what do any? I ain't even talking about Democrats. I ain't even talking about Republicans. I'm talking about the next person who's running for president. What
Mm-hmm.
message should they send to Generation Z? Because that seems like that's gonna probably be the next gap of voter blockers. That's gonna be huge. Because the baby boomers, they about to go see Jesus. Let's just be real. Let's just be real. Generation Z is up, and you got more new voters is going to be popping up 2028.
Mm-hmm.
So, what message, if you would think the next president candidate should send to them?
I would say less dictating to and more listening to. You let Gen Z tell you what is important to them, and then you go out and shape your policy agenda based on what you're hearing. And I think that's part of the problem now, is that it's a lot of Democrats trying to dictate to people instead of listening to people. Because people will tell you what they need.
Hmm.
And I think also, I think the other thing as well is that Democrats have to go big. Right now, unfortunately, the only big ideas are coming from Trump and his crew. Like, he's talking about, and they're horrible ideas for sure, but they are also big ideas that people are responding to. We're talking about, they are openly talking about carrying out the largest deportation operation in the history of the country. That's a big idea. You're talking about radically reshaping or eliminating entire federal agencies. That's a big idea. Like, Democrats have to come with some big ideas of their own as well. Some things that are truly remaking of society, sort of big ideas, FDR New Deal type things.
Basically,
Yeah, that's where we're at.
basically, no more of this. What's the word they were saying? Democracy. Nobody gives a fuck about that shit no more.
You minding the store is not going to be enough. Like, we need big ideas, and I think that is part of what people that's part of what people gravitated to with Trump. It's a lot of bluster, it's a lot of bullshit, but they are big ideas And I do believe they're going to attempt to carry out a lot of these. The results may be disastrous, but they are definitely going to try. And there's not a whole lot that can be done to stop it.
So I'm gonna get you out on this, sir. January 1st, 2025. The country will be January 1st, 2025. The country will be
The country will be preparing for Trump 2.0. I will be doing what I was doing election night, all the drugs. But
bruh. I was saving this cigar for her to win. I'm
yeah,
smoking it in her honor tonight. So, yeah, that's. I mean, sir, I'm gonna be honest with you. You probably gonna go ahead and just lock in your residency with us because you're probably gonna be back. Because I guarantee. Because we like I'm be honest with you. This man still got to go to court.
yeah, he gets sentenced in a few weeks. They're winding down some of those federal cases. Though. Those are
No, like I already know, like the one in Georgia, that's done.
Mhm.
The document case, that shit done.
Mhm.
Only thing left is the hush money, and I think January. I don't know if January 6th case. I don't think that's gonna make it either.
No, all the federal cases are wrapped.
And that's the crazy part that we never
Mm-hmm.
we in. Yeah, sir. Just go ahead and get your residency locked in, baby boy, because you gonna be back. We're gonna be talking like literally, like they said the media is happy that this man going back in office for ratings. Pretty much that's what's gonna be when we bring you
Mm-hmm.
on. So put your sex
Listen, I
toys
want to come
up.
back and talk about the kink at some point too. Though I want to do some fun.
I mean, look, I'm gonna be honest with you. You gonna have to like, hey man, enough of this shit. Let me show you my new toys. Let me show you what I got going on over here. Let me show you the new butt plugs that came out. You gonna have to break it up because I just like it's feeling like it's giving me that it's giving that 2020 vibe where you had to watch CNN. You
Yes.
even switch to Fox News just to switch it up. Like even the MSNBC, even going on Twitter, it's giving me that vibe. And this
Mhm.
man is not even in office yet.
Yeah, I do hope that in all seriousness though, man, as we are keeping an eye on the politics, that we, particularly as Black folks, really lean into the things and the people that bring us joy, which is why like I want to come back and talk about some like kink shit too, because like that brings me a lot of joy. And I feel like pleasure is our birthright, and I hope that we collect on that inheritance. So especially in these times.
Gotcha. Well, like, I wrote a lot, so let me go ahead and end it like this. If you want to say something, go ahead, sir, before I end it. Or you good?
Nah, I'm good, man. Just take care of yourselves. That's what I would say. Take care of yourselves, self-care, all of that.
And to all our followers, subscribers, people who've been rocking with the Cal podcast. First of all, we celebrating our 4-year anniversary on November. I think that's a Tuesday. So yeah, the Cal podcast going 4 years strong. Man, who would have thought we'd have made it this far, but we did. Shout out to my man Sir for getting on. Like I keep telling y'all, somehow, some way, we keep coming up with new guests, and we got somebody who's in the kinks and politics. Never would have thought we would have found him, but shit, there's one out there that we found that fuck with us, so that's good. Um, as we embark on the new year, um, with him going in office, I just want to tell everybody at the end of the day, focus on yourself. Because at the end of the day, your peace, your happiness, your self-clearing mind, that is up to you. He's gonna do what he do, but you can control you. Invest in yourself. Like Sir said, invest in pleasure. Take your time, whether it's going on a trip or going to get your ass spanked, whipped, and all that type of shit. Dominant matrix, threesome, sex, drugs, whatever. Focus on your happiness. and be joyous that you have an opportunity to elevate yourself to a bigger level. And just remember, everything happens for a reason. God don't make mistakes. And at the end of the day, Cal Podcast ain't got nothing but love because y'all been fucking with us, for rocking with us, and y'all keep us going. So thank y'all so much for tuning in. Thank y'all so much for being with us. Sir, thank you so much for doing this because you didn't have to do this. You could have did something else. Like, I'm telling you right now, I got to get you on with Quita. I got to get you on with Quita. So, other than that, like I always say, we're going to do better and get better. This is a special Cal Podcast election aftermath. And once again, y'all have be safe. Don't stress out. And just make sure that you got your gun ready. And I'm going to leave it at that. Sir, thank you again, my guy.
Thank you for having me, man.
G14 classified. That's good.
Headline, Starlight.
DJ Star.